When did the idea of My Virtual Escape come to fruition?
My virtual escape came to me after I finished a previous massive series called the Psycho
Yeah.
series. It was during 2016, summer 2016. I remember thinking of what the next big series was. And I remember thinking, okay, my previous series was a hit because it had gaming as a backdrop. What's another series I can have gaming as a backdrop that feels more modern and something that could speak to generations in the future? And virtual reality became the main topic on my mind.
Hmm. But I heard that you like fell into like a depression of sort after Psycho. Is that correct?
Yeah, it actually wasn't real. I just figured with such a big part of my life being over that it would make sense if my character Jesse Ridgway would go into a depression after that. But I'm very versatile, and it was like I thought of a way that I could bring back reality to the channel, which was acting like a washed up YouTuber. I thought that hadn't really been done before, and I was like, let's see me become depressed, and then also segue it into a brand new produced series, which was MVE or My Virtual Escape.
Ah, all right. Did you plan for MVE to go any differently?
So My Virtual Escape went through a multitude of different changes over the years, just like Psycho series or anything that is produced. There's rewrites on the day of. There's rewrites months prior. There's character changes. You always got to be open and adaptable when storytelling. The My Virtual Escape was almost sold to Verizon for a few $1 million. That was going to be a much tighter series, like potentially like 10 episodes that had a larger budget behind it, which would have changed production. Since I was shooting everything myself in South Jersey with my family and stuff, a lot of the things that I wrote were with the intention that I would be producing them in a low budget um, capacity. So, like, if I knew I was getting more money, the series would be completely different. I also think of the medium as well. A lot of the content was potentially going to go on YouTube, so I'm having to curb the swearing potentially, or the gore, or the guns, and have to tailor different things to the platform so that way it could be clickbaity. People would actually click on the thumbnail or the title. There's a lot of things that go into the crafting of the kind of the optics of the content just to get attention to it. However, there ended up being a change where I released the series to Storyfire, my platform, so that way I could creatively do whatever I wanted, and it wasn't so much about money or clickbait. It was just about the storytelling.
I have I have a friend, and he couldn't get over the fact that the little girl was Solomon. He
Yeah,
couldn't get
that's
over
still one of
that.
my favorite
He
twists.
could again, great series.
Thank
Was there any were there any hardships, or how was it like playing Isaac?
Hardship wise, I mean, just speaking of playing Isaac, the character, it's I definitely would prefer. I like telling darker stories. I can't say that I enjoy playing a depressed character. It definitely takes its mental toll. Also, I'm not only just playing as the character, but I'm writing for the character as well. So it becomes you're living and breathing in that world for so long, it ends up rubbing off on you mentally. And then there's also a lot of physicality to Isaac's character. He's fighting in VR, doing some crazy stunts and things, and it's definitely challenging to
That's
be completely immersed in that world. He lost his little sister, and he's trying to find himself. He's trying to grow up really, and figure himself out in the world. And playing that, I went through my own journey as well. From hardships from a production standpoint, it's always a pain in the ass managing people's schedules. Having that was a pretty large cast. I think of like maybe close to 30 people total. It's very hard, and a lot of people had day jobs, so we're trying to schedule shooting like 12, 14-hour days, trying to make sure we can block out time for each person, and if we have a larger group scene, trying to pick a day while also maintaining a schedule of releasing an episode a week. So the hardest thing was me as the showrunner. I'm writing a 30-page script on Monday. or say Sunday, Monday, I'm writing a 30-page script. And then for 4 more days, 5 more days, we're shooting 12, 14-hour days. I'm managing all aspects while starring in the thing. And then while also any scenes that I'm not in, I'm shooting I'm filming them. And then, I have one day to compile the, say, 20 hours of footage and cut that into a cohesive, entertaining episode. And then I release it, publish it, tally up the votes, and then the next day I'm writing a 30-page script for the next episode. And we ran that for, what I think was right around maybe 9 months. So it was pretty rigorous. Definitely took its toll health wise. It's very different from a traditional production where you have a team of, say, 50 people. Everyone's doing a different task. I'm doing literally everything myself with the help of like family and friends. So the intensive schedule to keep up with audience's demands. The audience is very, very demanding. They want stuff instantly this day and age. So, trying to be respectful to the audience's attention while also not, completely sacrificing all health for the series.
Yeah, it seems really tough. It seems like a lot to manage.
It is a lot. It's and it definitely was enjoyable throughout, just because we knew what we were doing was telling this grand story, and it was fun to kind of go through that journey. But I'd be lying if it wasn't more misery than that.
There's this one part in the episode Little Gangbanger, that whole monologue that you gave when Isaac was with Rebecca. It was really good,
Mhm.
and it actually pulled some heartstrings in with the whole like montage of Isaac and Eve.
Yeah, that was powerful.
What is it? I think I heard you said it in the behind the scenes, but I don't know if it was real or not. But did you like get so into the character that you actually thought that you had a little sister?
Yeah, it definitely happens, and I think it happens more intimately than traditional productions, mainly because we're shooting so much in real time, and a lot of it is not so much MVE, but even in the Devlin side, it got pretty dark, or Sega series, where these are all my actual family members. I am playing this character day in, day out, whereas, say a movie, they're maybe shooting for 2 months and then that's it for the character, or a TV show, they're in the character's skin for a couple months for shooting the season, and then that's it for the rest of the year. They can go live their life, whatever. For a YouTube show, we're living and breathing it for extended periods of time. So, say with Psycho series where I shot my dad, or in MVE where I lost my little sister, and I'm having to keep reinforcing this narrative in my head. It's definitely very easy to get immersed into it and think, oh my God, my sister's actually dead. I'm pretty sad. And it definitely speaks to just how humans are in everyday life. Dom yourself or Jesse Ridgway is just a character that we've reinforced these narratives and habits in our head that make us who we are. But who we actually are is a blank slate. It's just whatever we and other people tell us we are. So, I think there's definitely been a lot of learning lessons over the years just by playing different characters, is that, we have the versatility to be whoever we want. And if you tell yourself that you lost your little sister, and you're to blame for that, you keep telling yourself that for a long time, you believe it. It's real.
It kind of hit a bit because I actually have. How old was Eve in the series?
I'd imagine she was like 4 to 6 years old.
At first, I thought she was like around like 6, 7, 8 because I actually have a little sister around that age, so it kind of hit a bit.
She could be 6, 7, 8. It's we purposely didn't put too much emphasis on just that she was younger. She was still such an innocent person.
Yeah. Uh, I know that the Devil Inside. I heard that the Devil Inside series wouldn't have happened if the Psycho documentary was sold earlier. How would your YouTube channel be if things went different?
So yeah, originally, because of the documentary getting delayed to come out, it kind of pushed everything back. I wanted to come out with behind the scenes for Psycho series, and that delay meant I couldn't release the BTS, which meant I couldn't move on to the next big series. So MV kept getting pushed back, and then my agent and manager at the time, they were both advocating. They're like, "Yo, don't do this on YouTube. Do not make this. We can sell it. We can sell it as a show." So they started pitching stuff. So I kind of lost control of my own production and channel because I'm waiting for the kind of traditional bodies to make their moves. So I think had I was able to come out with MVE sooner, I think it would have definitely been a lot better. I think there would have been a lot more views, a lot more people would have got to see what we could do after Psycho. Um, Unfortunately, but I'm not too mad because what we got with the Devil Inside was really special. A lot of people really loved watching Isaac exist in Jesse Ridgway's world and the mirrors and the wizard and all this crazy stuff that I think it was a happy accident that it got pushed back.
One little quick thing, it's kind of off topic. Could
Mm,
you snap your fingers for me?
hell no.
Hell no. Or what if I went to go grab a mirror?
It's too powerful. It's too
What if I
powerful.
went to go grab a mirror?
It's too dangerous.
Too dangerous? Yeah, the whole snap of fingers thing was just for snap and or sorry, syncing audio to make sure that the recordings go well. But
Oh, of
yeah,
course. Right,
I kind of
right.
wanted to see what I can also do because again, like
Right, right.
yeah. But when Isaac was thrown when he was taken out the bathtub by your mom and like she was trying to make sure he was okay and everything, and Isaac goes like, "Go away, like you of all people care." I thought that was like foreshadowing kind of Mary too, because how she never cared.
100%.
So that was intentional.
Of
I noticed there
course.
was one part in this family intervention where Isaac was speaking to your dad or
Mhm.
Jeff, and he was like, he was starting to kind of break down. He was like, "You don't know what I've been through." Like, and I thought that was kind of foreshadowing like what happens in MVE, Eve, and it was really well
Right.
done. And
Thank you, man. Yeah, it's challenging. It's challenging to drop foreshadows at Easter eggs and things so early on, and then you don't see them come to fruition for years and years down the road. It's a very patient process for storytelling to where I think a lot of it sometimes is lost on the audience. Some of the smarter viewers, the ones that take a deeper look at the channel, I think can start to spot it and things. But sometimes people get frustrated. They think, oh, that's not going anywhere. That didn't make sense at the time, but it's only in retrospective viewing, or and if nothing's happened yet, wait 2-3 years and you might see something come up again and you're like, oh shit, just because I understand the nature of digital where none of this shit is going anywhere. And if I want to, you know, me making something 20 years from now can have direct tie back to something that happened in my virtual escape and with Devil Inside and the mirror system and these characters and stuff, where it's like, as long as I'm still breathing, there's always going to be some tether or connection to all these stories, no matter what medium I'm exploring. But yeah, I mean, that was very much a direct foreshadow, and it didn't have relevance at the time, but only after MVE you see it, you go back, you're like, oh my god, like Isaac, who we weren't even fully sure who Isaac is talking to whom he perceives as somebody that looks like Joseph, saying like, he's talking to Jeff Ridgway. He's like, you don't know the pain that I felt, or like, you don't know what I've been through, all this stuff. But like, Joseph understands, but Jeff Ridgway doesn't understand, and it's this weird conflict. But yeah, I mean, it's a super. That's still one of my favorite videos that we've shot. Everyone's acting in the family intervention was next level.
is he aware that they look similar, that they look like, who they're meant to be in MVE? Like, say if he looked at Larry, would he think it's
Mm-hmm.
Abraham or like does he think that and he just doesn't say it?
To me, I've always viewed it as like I get deja vu a lot. I have very weird experiences in my life that I can't say are coincidental. But even if I was to say dream somebody and then see them in real life, I'm never instantly able to recognize that person from a dream. It feels to me more like there's just a weird feeling. And that's what I think Isaac has when he sees these people. It's like, I can't, you seem familiar. I can't fully place it. And I think it's because he's using a different brain. He's in a different world. And his subconscious, just like when you're in a dream state, is maybe the thing that's more so controlling him. So it's not as you're not as conscious about who you were and who you are in the previous life. It's like if we all did live a previous life different from the one that we're in right now, we don't remember it consciously, but subconsciously, maybe when we were children, we had visceral nightmares and memories and things that maybe loosely, if we ran into somebody from a past life, we might have a feeling, but it's too hard to pinpoint.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely get it. It was just always something I was pondering in the series, because there seemed like little implications that made it seem like Isaac knew at least something. But I think
Yeah,
wasn't he under like control or something of like the devil because of what happened in Double Cross, right?
exactly. And the devil has his hands in every single thing. And anything that is shown on video, the devil has his hands in.
Uh, this kind of this kind of ropes back to mirrors. I know in Rule 19
Hmm.
there's like kind of something similar to what you do nowadays with like mirrors. Was that
Hmm.
intentional in any way, or was that just an idea that you had in Rule 19 and later on you went back to it and you decided to expand more upon it, or was it just always connected like that?
It's you're referencing Better Off a Clone,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
where real Jesse's trapped in the mirror.
yeah. Like there was like a mirror bit in Rule 19, but it was like the exact same setup.
Yeah, at the time, the intention of that scene was just to more so show clone number one's losing his mind, feeling guilty for kind of having a part in trapping real Jesse Ridgway and using him for more clones. So it wasn't as literal as real Jesse's trapped in the mirror and needs help. However, I would even though the devil inside has explored a more literal meaning of somebody being trapped in a mirror, I also don't think it's that literal. I don't, although we're seeing it depicted with the mirrors and stuff, I think we've also seen that it's just symbolic for Jesse Ridgway's mind, and that the mirror system is just a on-camera ploy, a plot device. I think, as we've seen with snapping, character changes can happen at any point in any time under any circumstances, just cause, because it's all a mental game.
Uh, I'm trying to remember something. So excuse me for that.
Mhm.
Trying to remember what.
But yeah, to while you're thinking of that, with the mirror stuff, it back then the mirror, I was always fascinated with mirrors. I think they're really cool. I'm like, it's pretty crazy. We look at this like glass that reflects imagery and stuff, and I always, as a kid, I used to imagine going through it to another world because I'd see I'd see what looks to be me in the mirror, but maybe it's not exactly me. It's just an image of me, and I imagine like, what if it changed and things, or what if you could go through and it was another world. So the idea has definitely always been there, and then it's just kind of organically evolved from there as a cool plot device.
Do you think at any point? I know we're in middle. Are like where exactly? You don't have to obviously say it, but where are we in season 4 of The Devil Inside right now? Like, do you think that we're reaching a climax soon? Are we reaching something big? Or like,
Season 4
are we in season 4
of what?
of The Devil Inside? You don't know?
No idea what you're referring to.
Do you do you think that there's a possibility that by the end of this series we'll see real Jesse again?
Who's not? Are you saying I'm not real Jesse?
Man.
Are you? You think? Are you talking to a character right now?
Are you the real Jesse or are you?
Would you ever even know?
See, that's like the hard thing. I don't know if you're.
And with the hat on, does the hat mean anything? I
It
don't
makes me.
know.
You know that the community like shortens Jesse Tyler to Tyler, right? Are you aware of that? I assume you.
Who the fuck? What are you talking about? My middle name?
You scroll to Reddit, right? I assume so.
What Reddit? The fuck is Reddit?
Man, I'm having a good time.
I only use Twitter, bro.
You don't use Discord or any of that.
No, I don't use Discord.
All right, I know,
Not too familiar with Reddit.
I know, I know that you definitely have. Yeah, you definitely have a side of the community that likes to really speculate and analyze your content, and like like just with any video comes out, there's always a lot of like, I know this one dude. Whenever there's any like mention or like any like if there's like a meteor scene in like a video, they'll chalk it up and like they'll like remember that like remember it for like later on. And there's like this like really cool like there's like this Discord MJN server I'm part of that really analyzes your content, but it's like I know this one dude. He watched MVE at 85 times and he's still going.
What the?
No,
Nah.
I'm serious, dude. I'm serious.
What?
I'm serious. Like, dude, like there are a lot of people out there who like to really analyze your content.
I mean, he might catch something on the 86th time. It's definitely
There has to
possible.
be stuff there that we haven't seen yet.
I've watched it a handful of times because it's been a few years now. I'll watch it and be like, oh shit. I'll catch something the fucking sixth time around.
Series, Isaac was in Abraham's house and he grabs the fire poker and he's like, I can kill somebody with this. And then he connects the dots and in the end he ends up killing Abraham with the fire poker. Was that also intentional?
100%. Yeah, there's a lot of fire poker foreshadowing. There's foreshadowing with the fire poker in Devil Inside as well. I always envisioned that being the kill shot weapon for him. And then there's definitely a lot of symbolism behind Isaac blaming Jesus of all people, and then just mutilating him with the fire poker as Arachnid watched at the end of the heist. I don't want to give away too many.
Yeah. I don't want to do that. I like also thinking about it. I like also thinking about it. Yeah. Any changes to Isaac's character through the development of My Virtual Escape or The Devil Inside Season 1? Like, was he meant to be different? Any name changes? Any personality traits that were altered? Anything like that?
Yeah, so I mean, Isaac in The Devil Inside versus Isaac in MVE, they're definitely similar but different. It's like I was talking before. Isaac in Jesse Ridgway's world is more functioning from a subconscious basis, in almost like a fugue state. He's a prisoner in this world by manipulation of the devil. So there's definitely a difference in some character traits, but he's also a bit more unruly. I think he is aware of the world that he's in, and that he can do whatever the fuck he wants. But he's also aware that the world he's in isn't true. So that makes him very depressed. He's in a fake world with people that he has no idea. So like he has some fun times within that, but then it's also like, what the fuck is the point of this? Why am I in this bullshit? How do I get out?
He tried to get out in My Only Escape. He said, maybe this will make me go back.
Yeah, and I think it's why it came at a critical time where, Isaac gets thrusted out of his world and then entered into here, where Isaac in MVE at the point was very depressed and didn't want to be where he was. and then all of a sudden he gets thrust somewhere else. It maybe is exciting for a bit, but it just feels like another layer of VR at that point. And he wants to get out. He's depressed wherever he goes. So I think there was a huge character change within Isaac and the Devil Inside. And then the Isaac that we see in MVE is a bit more structured. And granted, he's a lot more scripted as well. So there wasn't as much improv, and it might have felt harder to relate to Isaac at first in MVE, just given that that was a separate story to tell, and we're doing a lot of world building, and we had to explore the actual true character arc, different from the Devil Inside. So it's definitely two sides of the same Isaac coin, but there's clear differences between the two.
Was the connection to the Devil Inside always a part of the series, or was it a last minute decision?
So connection to Devil Inside, once I learned that MVE was not going to be purchased by Verizon, there's a bunch of changes there, as well as while we were making the Devil Inside, I mean, obviously it was conscious. I thought it'd be really cool of an idea if we got exposed to a character. And I think I did this a few other times as well. I can't think off the top of my head, but where we introduce a character or something that really has no relevance whatsoever, and they're in this world. I almost just spoiled something big. I gotta watch myself.
I take your time, man. Go. You're all right.
But yeah, it was consciously decided. I think it was around the time of the Christmas series. We were starting to explore the snapping stuff loosely, as well as the collab series. There's a bit of like snapping. I mean, the snapping's been pretty consistently throughout a bunch of stuff. But yeah, it was 2016 where I was like, all right, if we can't do MVE yet, we're doing this Devil Inside shit. And then I already have an idea of where it'll link in MVE. I wasn't 100% on like what episode it's going to link in an MVE, because I had a Holy Bible for my virtual escape writing it, which is a very loose guide with plot points in each episode. But I didn't have all each 30 times 24 episodes, 30-page scripts times 24. I didn't have them all written. That was going to be in real time. So I wasn't sure where exactly to plug that scene in, or where Isaac gets ported the Devil Inside, but I knew roughly what season it had to happen, and it was when shit hits the fan. Why not, right? Always throw the main character into fucking hell, and that's where you'll get the most entertaining shit and the more compelling arc. So while in Crucifixion, when shit's hitting the fan, why not just fucking thrust him out of his world too?
Any particular reason why you chose religion to be a major theme? Am I allowed to ask that?
It kind of wrote itself. It was like, if we're gonna build a world, a virtual world, that's creation. That's Genesis. That's like how this world was created, and the people on it. And I'm not religious by any means, but I thought that's a really interesting backdrop, and we could pull character names and have a lot of symbolism and an overlap between the Bible. It's like this, writing the Bible of MVE is writing about, the beginnings of a digital virtual world that I thought was cool. And you have the Overlord versus God, and all these different things that blend themselves together. And I think in our real lives now, as we dip further into the metaverse and we see all this virtual reality shit, and it's going to get more poignant, we're going to be spending actual time in VR. I think as humans, the human race, we are playing God in a lot of different ways. And I think MVE has a lot of foreshadowing to maybe where we're heading as a society.
What's one regret, what's one regret you wish you could change about the series? Like something could change.
I wish it made money. I know it was a financial failure by all means. I definitely, it was one of, I love MVE. So like I don't like focusing on the financial side. But when people look at my content since my virtual escape and wonder where's the big produced series, where's the next MVE, it's not financially sustainable, and nor does it get rewarded on the platform. So that's why my main focus has been Storyfire until we have a platform that actually rewards storytellers and creators and things like MVE. I don't feel comfortable wasting time and energy on something that will get punished by the platform and I'll lose $80,000, you know? So the regret would be, I wish there was a way to make it financially viable. I can't say I would have done anything differently then. So I don't know if I'd say fully it's a regret. It was just a wish. You know, maybe you've made it a YouTube original. Maybe that would have been it. But we pitched them, and they didn't want to pick up the series. They said they were full, that they didn't have room for it on their slate. But yeah, as far as the actual production goes, I mean, it was I love the series. There's nothing really I would change. I made it the way I wanted to make it, and in my eyes, it was perfect. And how quickly we produced that in 9 months and the experiences we all had, I think was pretty unforgettable.
I personally think your content should be seen by a lot more people because there's like so much that goes into it, but then it just gets overshadowed by like clickbait content, and I don't really think that's fair. But that's also why you're doing Storyfire. It's like,
yep.
And like
they say restriction breeds creativity, which I wholeheartedly agree. Like, if YouTube was perfect, Storyfire would have no opportunity. But because it is very flawed, I think people think, oh, YouTube's so big that it can't fail. YouTube didn't exist 20 years ago, and it won't 20 years from now. And if it does, it's going to be very different. It might not. Everything that at the top always gets thrown off the throne. It will not be the king always. So I think no better thing to disrupt it than something like Storyfire. It's just it's gonna be a long road. But this platform needs to exist, and there needs to be more than just one. We got a couple billion people on YouTube, got a lot of people that aspire to be creators. There's only one fucking game in town. There needs to be 20.
That's true. It's like how there's competitors for like Facebook, for example. Like there's always going to be a competitor, and I think Storyfire has a lot of potential. And I know you did a marketing push last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious to see how you guys are gonna do the second marketing push. I noticed like over the last like month, you guys just come back like full force. Like it's like you're ready to hit the ground running.
Yeah. Yep.
And I'm curious to see where that goes. And I wish you and Brian and the rest of them luck.
Thanks, man.
Am I allowed to ask about deck chair?
You can ask.
I'm not gonna get an answer though.
You never know. I mean, you can always shoot your shot.
Are you deck chair?
Am I deck chair?
Are you deck chair?
What do you think?
Man. I mean,
like honestly, what do you think I am deck chair?
I'm gonna be straight up with you, Jesse. I think that you are deck chair or deck chair.
You think I am?
I think you are deck chair. Yeah.
So you think it's some elaborate McJuggernuggets narrative shit?
I mean, you gotta think, dude. I've been literally raised on this content since I was in grade school.
Is potentially. I'm curious to hear your reasoning why, while also understanding that maybe you think it's narrative because there's a fear of, God forbid, you buy into this one thing for the 18th time and then you're duped.
I think it's just like the way I see it set up. It's like we don't know who deck chair is.
Right.
We don't know who he is. We haven't seen him. We know nothing about him. And the first time that we really like hear mention of him is, in like, the videos. That's kind of like my reasoning. I could obviously be wrong, but
Well, technically, we first see the deck chair name in the NFT auction, which is outside. That takes place outside of video.
would you consider the things that get posted on Twitter and your videos like separate like universe type thing?
That's a good point because we've seen me be in character on Twitter and other
Yeah, there's
socials.
either
So,
Psycho.
right.
I always ponder this stuff. It's like you're giving me information and now I'm just pondering it in my head. But that's like
Yeah, I mean, you're getting an inside look here. So,
again, I'm really really appreciative of it. No,
no
I'm
problem.
having lots of fun.
I like rewarding somebody who not only, yeah, I appreciate the support and everything, but I like rewarding somebody who actually puts themselves out there and tries. You went out on a limb and asked. And what's funny is if you say posted in whatever this Reddit thing is called, or all this other shit, and we're like, I think I'm gonna see if Jesse's down to do an interview. I bet you most people would be like, no, that probably won't happen. You'll never get it'll be all negative shit. But you said fuck all. I'm gonna ask anyway, and you immediately got a response. So it's like you deserve to get the conversation with me because you fucking you sent it.
I know, man, and like I thought if I'm doing an interview on my if I'm doing a documentary on my virtual escape, I gotta get the man himself. That was like my whole like plan, like trying to go into it, and I'm so grateful to be working with you on this in some way. Like
Oh
that's
yeah.
always been like a little like dream of mine, dude. Like I hope if things go well, I hope sometime in the future I can work with you again. Like, dude,
You never know.
I would love to help you at Rigid Studios. Trust me, dude. Like I've always wanted to see how things are made. I it's something I'm really passionate about. I'm sorry if this sounds forced or anything like that, but I've just always. I hope if things go well, I hope there's like a potential chance where we can work together in the future again.
Life is long, man. You never know.
Yeah, I mean,
Any final questions? I gotta bounce like very soon.
all right. I have two questions. Well, I have
Okay.
more, but I got two more. Will we
Okay.
ever get an explanation to that cryptic tweet about Psycho Kid in the Woods?
What tweet?
You know the one where it looks like it was taken sometime during Fleece Country, but he's in the woods. Psycho Kid is, and it was. I'm trying to remember, but it said someday we'll see him again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it said he will be redeemed.
He will be redeemed. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we got kind of a follow up with the graphic novel. It was its own medium, its own story. Definitely wasn't like the direct continuation of Psycho series because it got very fictional with the superhero stuff. But to me, the stories are still ongoing always. So Psycho Kid, whether it's through the mirror or not, whether we have access to it or not, is still living out his life and his story. So I'd imagine he's still in Switzerland, and I think at that point in time, posting that, probably feeling nostalgic about the character, the story, wondering, hey, what's he up to? And it was like we got to see a glimpse, like a quick little peek through the mirror, and that's where he's at. Looks like he's out in the fucking wilderness doing some weird ass shit. I don't even know, eating fucking baby food. But yeah, I mean, it's something that I think about from time to time. Same with like I'm wondering what the fuck Isaac's up to, or these other characters, or exploring different imaginary realms. But yeah, I mean, will we ever see Psycho Kid again? Like the actual Psycho Kid from that specific
Main
story?
universe.
The main universe, it's possible. Will we see it explored in alternate universes or in different formats? You never know. Really, like a lot of my creative decisions are founded on just like what gets me excited, what I think the audience gets excited about, what YouTube will like. And if all of those things converge and it's all of them, then that's usually what I make. So, you never know what's going to happen. I think that's the beauty of the last couple years of content. People have no fucking clue what's going on. They have no idea what's happening. And some people are like, well, it's by design. You're going to get pieces always.
And
It's up to the viewer. It's up to the viewer. I'm not spoon feeding shit. It's up to the viewer to look at all the pieces and try pushing them together. And Psycho Kid's just one piece.
man, all right. $1 million question, Mr. Ridgway. All right, I don't know if you can answer it or not. Any plans for a My Virtual Escape sequel? I know I've heard about this. I know I remember hearing that you were trying to pitch MVE2 to a streaming service from Netflix. I know that was a few months ago. But
Yep.
do you plan to start that back up eventually, or do you think it's just gonna do you think it's just gonna just not happen? I know there was another series, Monotone. I think you were gonna do, right?
That was 2013, very old. I've harvested some things from Monotone and repurposed them for other series. So I kind of feel like I've done that Monotone in a way because I've gotten some crazy twists and stole from my own previous shit. I don't know. I love MVE. I love the universe. I love the backdrop. I think you can tell a lot of stories within VR. I was pitching Netflix. I was just pitching the series to whoever would be interested. And when I say pitching, my manager, I thought was hopefully going to be doing that. Unfortunately, over the last year, he ain't been doing much.
He hasn't been doing much.
No, and that's what's hard. I've had different representation behind the scenes over the years, and it seems like if my views aren't 100 million views a month, the representation is not. They're not interested in pitching me. Where it's become even in the managerial sense, it's about the numbers, and they'd rather go with bankable numbers than somebody who's talented or has great creativity or whatever. So that's been unfortunate. I have a really beautiful trailer cut of My Virtual Escape that's never been seen before. I teased it a little bit on Twitter.
Yeah, I remember that.
That I've just been sitting on, and it's been the pitch trailer to get it picked up. Unfortunately, you need access to Netflix and all that. You need connections. And my main connection is not pitching me. He's older. He doesn't feel like doing anything. And to be honest, he pissed me off because he didn't even fully watch the My Virtual Escape series.
Man, yeah, he's. I hope it. Dude. I hope it gets picked up. I hope it gets started up sometime soon.
So as an artist, that's always the kind of the biggest insult is like you didn't even watch the work. And so it was being forced. So that kind of became backburnered. Obviously, I would still love to see MVE on the big screen and being able to see different plots and arcs explored. But unfortunately, until I get some actual good representation, that can't happen. However, it's something, one thing I learned within all this, when you think things are dead, they never are. Whereas, like, I came up with the Ursula series when I was a freshman in high school.
That was a long time ago.
That was a very long time ago. That was like 2006, 2007. And then little did I know, I end up making that series in 2016, almost 10 years later.
Damn. Did you ever write any material for MVE2?
A couple small bits, nothing crazy. And I always have had arcs in my head, prequel, sequel, retelling, completely different characters. That's all definitely been in my mind. But I think for me also to get excited about an MVE too, when you tell a story, it's like you kind of got it out of your system. It would have to be a very new
So no
story for
Isaac,
MVE
no
two.
Isaac.
If there was an Isaac, it'd be he'd show up in cameo. Um, or if it was a sequel series, the story would have to be completely different, like a different driver for Isaac and a different fully different arc.
Man, well, I hope that eventually that comes to fruition one day. Because trust me,
Yeah,
dude,
I mean,
I'd
it,
love it.
it was thanks, man. It was inspiring, just with Squid Game that the creator of the show was pitching Squid Game for fucking 10 years.
It could always happen.
It could always happen. You never know. And I don't plan on stopping what I'm doing anytime soon. So all these ideas, they're always getting kicked around in here, and then you never know. You get into talking with somebody, and they're like, "Hey, you got any ideas?" And I was like, "Well, I had this one like when I was younger about this," and then somebody's like, "Yo, that's fucking good. We should make that." And
Hold
it's
on to
like,
it, man.
"Yep,
Somebody's gonna take
always."
it. Somebody's gonna take it eventually. I don't know when, but I think hopefully we'll see MVE2 one day.
And I've always had this thought, and it's super interesting because I remember when my channel started blowing up, I was like, oh, whoa, this is crazy, and it feels very isolated to a point in time. But now, 5 years later, since like End of Psycho series, and I've kind of been in the spotlight for a bit now. I'm having a lot of fans that are on their own come up. I've seen fans all of a sudden hit 1 million+ subscribers. I've seen fans go on to, get some 6-figure paying jobs. I've seen a lot of fans start entering college, going to film school, or going to pursue film. And it could be one of those things where somebody that I touched when they were younger all of a sudden is able to break through and break into the industry or whatever. And who knows, all of a sudden I get an email saying, "Hey, Jess, can we make this?" It's somebody that was inspired, grew up watching me, and hits me up when I'm fucking like 40 years old, being like, "Yo, man, can we do this?"
Yeah, you've definitely inspired me a lot, and you've definitely made me very passionate. Like I'll film skits with my friends sometimes, dude, and I'll just have fun. I'm always holding the camera. I always try and get specific camera shots, like how you do in your videos, and you've definitely inspired me and made me really passionate about filmmaking, how it's done, your channel, and I just want you to know that, like, again, like, it means a lot, and again, it's still crazy that I'm here talking to you after all these years, dude, and
Oh yeah.
yeah, and like I'll watch your content, I'll always analyze it, I'll even do up, like, I'll even like do up drawings. I think I showed you. Did you ever
Mhm.
see? Okay, so my Twitter name is Dplex. Have you ever heard of that name?
Yeah.
You've heard of it?
Yeah, yeah. I recognize that.
All right. Have you seen? I'll make MV fan art from times. I kind of like draw. I'll redraw scenes like an anime, like Yeah,
I might have seen that.
I
Yeah.
sent you in like one of your. There was something about MVE, but
Right.
it was a manga, which is like a Japanese comic book, and I was
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I think I saw that. That was pretty good.
yeah, and I'll like I'll do that, and I'll make a lot of content for like MVE. I'll like do I'll do a lot of artwork for it, and I put a lot of And it's always so hard trying to convert Isaac into like 2D
Yeah.
character. Like I had some struggle with that. There was this one specific art style that I did. You wouldn't know what it is, but it's Kill la Kill. That was the whole basis of the art style for the MVE anime manga drawings, and I plan to continue that. But the thing with the manga is that I'm really trying to stick closely to your original vision. Like I'm being very careful with what I do, you know, just trying to keep everything
All right.
intact. And
I gotta bounce, man.
all right, man, it was really nice seeing you. And, it was nice meeting
Likewise,
you.
bro. And yeah, you know what? Until I were you about the fun times, man?
I was about to, dude. I was about to. I'm glad you did this to me. I hope that eventually, sometime in the future, we could probably do something again. I'm
Yeah,
always available, man.
and you have a YouTube channel or
I originally did 4,000 subscribers, but I actually got YouTube themselves. They actually took it down for no reason, but they have a new one,
oh.
and I just post little things from there from time to time. But I will.
Well, look, man, it's gonna be a little. We're still mid housekeeping with Storyfire. So if you wanted to post this, I'm fine with it. If you wanted to clickbait it and put it on YouTube, just until we get Storyfire going more, and we can talk about video on there. But yeah, if you want to post it to YouTube, I'm totally fine with it, man.
Yeah, I hope that there's like a time in the future where I could definitely, work with you on something like Rigid Studios,
Mhm.
something of any kind, like, sometime in the future. I'm obviously 17 right now, so I can't really do anything. But,
Right,
if you ever
right.
need an extra guy or somebody to help, just always hit me up.
Rochester's not far, man.
It's really not far,
All right, Dom. I'll catch you later,
All right,
bro.
fun times.
I'll give you a little fun
Fun time.
time.
Have
Good shit,
have a
man.
good one, man.
Keep it rigid. Stay lit,
Hey,
bro.
keep it rigid.
Peace.
Peace.